So let's talk about more specifically about the actual delicious recipes in the book. Give us an idea of the range of treats that you have because it's really wide.
Absolutely. So, this is again, I love my book designer, Janine Elder, if you're watching this, and of course, my photographer, Hannah Kaminsky, who is an accomplished vegan chef and cookbook author in her own right. So, instead of having the categories be boring and just like, cakes, cookies, pies, and ice creams, so we have them broken down into bake it, which are obviously things that require an oven that need to be baked. Chill it. These are desserts that you can make without an oven. Many of them are suitable for raw fooders. Dip it, things that you dip. Crunch it. These are the dehydrated granola type of snacks and cookies. Freeze it, desserts that you need a freezer to do the dessert for. Fry it, desserts that you need an air fryer for. Iron it, you need a waffle iron. Lick it, these would be the sorbets and ice cream. Nuke it, there's two recipes that you can do in a microwave, maybe in a microphone. Pop it, little bites that you can put in your mouth. Sip it. Let's see, spoon it like the puddings and the mousses, spread it like the jams, sprinkle it, squeeze it. I just think it's just a really fun way to do what I think is a fun book.
Yeah, I went straight to chill it since that was like the easiest. There's over 150 vegan and they're gluten-free too.
Yes, that was important to me, not just because I'm gluten-free by necessity. And even when I didn't have to be gluten-free many years ago, I tended to do everything gluten-free because most people know at least one person that has to avoid gluten. And so, hey, it's really not that hard. And, people aren't eating a dessert because it had wheat berries or rye. It's actually very easy. And I felt because I'm trying to reach more than just the vegan people in the world who I love and appreciate and who have supported me for years, I would love to reach other people to get them healthy vegan recipes. And there's a huge gluten-free population, so much so that in the bookstores, there's even a gluten-free section. So that's what I was hoping to do, is to reach even more people.
I personally prefer desserts that are gluten-free because I find white flour or even whole wheat flour, I don't know, it's not as light, and I don't know. I just prefer
Well, it's interesting because I only use flour in two recipes in this book.
Wow. Wow. So it's not only white flour free,
It's pretty much flour free. I mean, I could have made it 100% flour free if I took out Dr. Neil Barnard's favorite, this cupcake and the German chocolate cake. But other than that, because, to me, flour, especially white flour, is not really healthy, just like white sugar. But I know you do need it to do certain things in the world of baking. So one of the things I do is anytime I'm using something like, say, rolled oats, I give people the option if they want to grind it into an oat flour or buy oat flour. But I pretty much kind of try to leave everything as intact as possible.
So what flours are you using in those two recipes?
So in those two recipes, I'm just using a blend that you can get at stores like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, or online. Also Bob's Red Mill. So I'm just using a gluten-free blend so that therefore it has a 1-to-1 ratio. Yeah, that's just for two recipes. But hey, I have a raw version of the German chocolate cake that doesn't use flour. So that's pretty cool.
Well, I love the mousses and the fudge you talked about. Give us a couple of the recipes that you really find delicious.
Okay, I thought you might ask, so if you don't mind, I actually put a little piece of paper there. So I find them all delicious. However, my favorite, and it's such a simple recipe, is called the rustic fruit tart on page 111 because it's literally fruit and oats. And this one shows berries. I love to do it with strawberries the best. And if you're a person that can eat oatmeal and fruit for breakfast, you can pretty much make and eat this recipe. And the best part is it takes maybe 5 minutes to make.
That's great. And you mentioned that you used to be able to eat things with gluten, but now you need to be gluten-free. Does that happen? Do people become gluten intolerant?
Not a doctor. A doctor would be a good one to ask, but I think that can happen. I think people can develop allergies or sensitivities later in life, or maybe they were already there, but they weren't eating a lot of it. You know what I think it is? I think it has to do with the United States, to be honest, because I have friends that, supposedly can't eat gluten, but they'll go to Europe and, Italy, and they're all of a sudden able to eat the pasta and all of a sudden able to eat the bread. I just think something's going on with the wheat supply in this country.
Actually, there was an article in the New Yorker years ago about the difference. Either it's the amount of gluten in the bread or something, but yes, the New Yorker did cover that. You have cheesecake too, which is so delicious. What are you using to make it cheesy?
I am now, again, when I wrote these recipes like many years ago, I was making my own cream cheese, which is not very hard to do, soaking cashews. But now you can buy fairly healthy vegan plant-based options at just regular grocery stores. So I love Miyoko Shinner's brand, which is Miyoko's Creamery, because it's oil-free, at least the brand that I buy, the flavor that I buy. It has a tiny bit of salt, but it doesn't have oil. It's made out of cashews. And in case somebody has a soy sensitivity. So I just buy it now because it doesn't end up being any easier or more cost-effective to make it myself.
What about you have something else with the recipes, which I love, which is the chef's tip for each recipe. Are there any that you would like to share? Can you share a couple with our audience?
I'll tell you one that wasn't mine, but my sous chef, Rebecca Martinez. So when we're making a crust and we are putting either oats or seeds or nuts in a food processor, we're going to process those into a flour-like or breadcrumb consistency before we add the dates. Well, let's say you just used your food processor to make hummus and you washed it and it's clean now, but there's that one or two little drops of water. It didn't dry. And you put your oats or your nuts in there, it won't work. It won't make a flour-like consistency. So Rebecca taught me, she goes, just go in the bathroom, take your blow dryer. It's so easy. So easy. Oh, another easy one is many people in their, I call it the junk drawer, but many people have a drawer with kitchen tools that they really don't use. And a lot of people that are vegan don't have a use for an egg slicer anymore. Well, they're perfect for cutting bananas and strawberries into perfect little segments. And they're also great for mushrooms as well.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. Yeah.